Hi everyone, today I'm talking about my new position in the stock market, which is Alibaba. Now, I gave a clue about this about 2 videos ago when I did my portfolio review. You could see that the ticker symbol bar was down at the bottom of this portfolio review, and that gave it away slightly. And also, I sold my Apple shares about 2 days ago, and because of me selling my Apple shares, that made the room to go out and buy the Alibaba stock. And when I sold my Apple shares, one of the big considerations I had is if I go and sell these shares right now, am I just going to have that money sitting in my brokerage account and I'm doing nothing with it? Or is there a company out there that's a really good company that I could go buy instead of Apple? And when I thought about that and I compared like Apple to Alibaba, and I said, right, from a long-term kind of hold, long-term kind of view, which company is going to perform better over the next, year, 2 year, all the way to 5 years? Is it going to be Apple or Alibaba? And I thought Alibaba is going to perform better than Apple. And at that time I thought, well, I've got a company that I could go invest this profit with that I have in Apple, and it was Alibaba. And then I went and sold them shares, and straight away I bought Alibaba stock after selling the Apple shares. I'm going to take you a few reasons why that I went and bought Alibaba stock and what price I got in at and everything like that. But it was good selling my Apple shares because I had a nice bit of profit, and because of me having that profit in the Apple shares, it meant that I could actually go get a bigger position in Alibaba. And I've always been a big fan of Alibaba. I think this is like my third time actually invested into Alibaba. And it's a company I love, and it's a company that definitely has some ups and downs in the stock market. It's not always the most stable stock in the stock market, but it's a good one to play. And from a long-term kind of hold, if things go down, I don't mind holding this stock just because of how much potential this stock has. Alibaba is an absolute monster of a stock, and we're going to get on to why. In the short term as well, it was a great entry point that I got in at because even though I'm a long-term investor into the stock market, and I hold these stocks hopefully for like a year up to 5 years, it's always good to know a little bit of the technical side of the stock market, a little bit of day trading techniques, and that helps you actually get into a good position in the stock. So I actually got into Alibaba a little bit of a support area, so that's a good point to enter. Even if the stock goes down and I can buy more shares for cheaper, that's fine, but I always like looking at the chart and see what's going on, so I know if the stock's more than likely going to go up or down. But like I say, I'm a long-term investor, but it's always good to know a couple of day trading like techniques like that. And I thought that I entered at a decent point into Alibaba when I purchased. So I bought Alibaba stock and I bought at 18593, so that's the entry price that I entered at. And like I say, I felt like it was at a good entry point, a good support level. And also, I looked at the stock, and one of the first things I do when I'm invested into a stock is I don't like buying near 52-week highs on the stock. So I looked at Alibaba and I noticed that it's actually like midway between its 52-week high and its 52-week low over the last year. So it's at a little bit of a discount, and I like getting stocks at a discount. So that ticks the first box, is like, oh right, this stock's at a discount right now. It's off its 52-week high. And with it being a growth company as well, I think it can surpass its 52-week high. Whereas companies like Apple, they're a little bit more of a value stock. I'm always a little bit like, the chance of them pushing way past this 52-week high is possible, but not as likely because it's a value company. Whereas Alibaba being a massive growth company, I feel like this stock could definitely like pass that 52-week high by quite a bit. So it's still at quite a bit of a discount, so that's the first thing I looked at. The next thing I consider is, where do I believe this stock can go? And I'll tell you a few reasons why I think it can go up to there in this video, but I believe this stock can go to $250. And I said last year, if it wasn't for this China trade war, this slowdown news, I believe that Alibaba last year would have gone to 250. So I'm just going to keep that target from last year, and I believe that Alibaba can go to $250 a share. Like I say, when I always invest into a stock, I always like having a target, because when your stock goes up, it's easy to get quite greedy, and it's easy to go, I'll hold it for another $10, I'll hold it for another $20. And it's always good setting them targets when you enter, so that when you get to the point where it gets to your target, you know then that, you said back then, if it gets to this target, this is where I'm going to sell. And it's always good having these targets and selling there, because sometimes you get just a bit carried away with these gains, and you go, I'll hold it for a bit longer, I'll hold it for a bit longer. Next thing you know, your stocks pull back 10-20%, and you could have taken them profits. You're never going to sell out at the absolute highs and absolute lows, but it's always good to have a little bit of a target. And for me, if Alibaba gets to 250 a share, that's probably where I would sell out at. And like I say, I believe that it'll probably get there in 12 months. If it doesn't, I don't mind holding the stock, 2 years, 3 years until it gets there. And the reason why I think it will get to $250 a share is because at the moment this stock is absolutely amazing. Now, the bonkers thing I'm going to actually say right now is that Alibaba is actually having its slowest growth for like 3 years. But that growth is still a 40% revenue increase. Now that's with a slowdown on top, all the China trade war news going on. Alibaba is still set to grow at 40% revenue. Now this is because of a bundle of things, like basically, if you don't know what Alibaba is, but I'm sure most of you do, it's basically like the eBay / Amazon kind of like of China. But it's also got a lot of other things going on, a lot of different other companies. It's also in the cloud game. It invests quite heavily into other companies, building its revenue up. It's very much like Amazon in its early days. It's very aggressive in how it plays, and I like a growth company that's really aggressive. And because of how aggressive it is, and it's just investing all the time, its revenues are just increasing absolutely massive, and hopefully we'll get to about a 40% revenue increase this year, which is absolutely huge. So definitely a major growth play right there. And the great thing as well about being an absolute growth monster at 40% is actually its forward PE is actually really low. Its forward PE is around about the 30 range, which is super. When we see companies that are growing at 40% revenue, we're talking about that potentially that these forward PEs could be into like the 60s all the way to 100, above 100, like your Netflix. You look at Netflix PE, they're currently growing, I think, at between 20 and 30% revenue, and their forward PE is towards 70. Alibaba's growing even more than them, and their forward PE is 30. Obviously, there's a little things about, the China trade war and the slowdown, and people saying that the company kind of, is a little bit sneaky on some of the numbers that they report and what have you, but you can't deny that this company is absolutely amazing. Major brand, #1 player in what it is right there. I always like having the big player in the sectors that they're in, and Alibaba is definitely that. And a very aggressive company. And like I said, the China trade war is kind of what's held this stock back over the last year. And it looks like we could probably have a solution in place, and hopefully there's a deal come out. If it doesn't, the stock goes down, I'm totally fine with that. I'll probably actually add into my position if it was ever to go down any more than what it already is. That's totally fine with me, just like how I did with Walgreens. But hopefully the China trade war solves itself. And like I say, I think this stock's just been beaten down quite a lot. A monster of stock that deserves to be a lot higher. Definitely should be in the $200 per share range. And like I say, I believe that over the next 12 months, it should be getting towards $250 a share. And that's why I invested in it. I believe, when we look at the stock, there's nearly $70 upside in this stock right now, which is enough for me to go and invest in that. So that's why I invested into Alibaba right there, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it helped you if you're looking to invest into Alibaba as well. Obviously, it's a company that I absolutely love, and I feel like I'm going to make a decent profit on this one after me holding it for a while. Hopefully it doesn't go up too quickly like Apple did, but yeah, I'm happy with investing into Alibaba. So thank you for watching, guys. Thank you all for support recently. I think we've just hit 240 subscribers, which is amazing. So thank you for that. I really enjoy making the videos when there's all that support there. So thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.